These two best friends were next door neighbors. They decided they didn't want to walk around the fence to see each other anymore. So they were gonna dig a secret underground tunnel connecting one yard to the other. They started by the shed. I'm digging. They spent 2 weeks while their parents were at work. They both thought they were geniuses. Bro, we're geniuses. Tell me about it. Shoveling, pickaxing, hauling dirt out in wheelbarrows. Well, they were about 6 feet deep and 10 feet across when one of the kids pickaxed something solid. What was that? I don't know. Keep going. They shouldn't have kept going. Instead, he hit this thing again and again and again until burst. Water spraying everywhere. Ah! Bro, this is so bad. It was the water main, the main pipe, and the backyard began to flood. They ran out of that hole. The water didn't stop either. It kept going. The fire department showed up, and then the city workers, and they're like, what the heck is going on here? We were trying to build a tunnel to each other's houses. Where are your parents? They're at work. For the rest of the summer, that kid's yard had to be dug up and they had to repair that pipe. His parents were obviously upset, but they kind of blamed themselves. How did we not know he was digging a tunnel in our backyard? Yeah. That was my question too. That's insane. Careful where you dig. The school store only opened on Fridays. Why is it closed 4 days a week? Budget. Convenience. Whenever somebody asked, they basically just told him to shut up. Well, this kid had a genius idea. He went to Costco, like most of my stories begin, and he bought a bunch of stuff. Everything that the school store sold. But he bought them in bulk, and he brought it to school. And he began running a school store out of his locker every single day. Chips, candy, drinks, the exact same brands as the school. Bro, how do you have all that? Costco. And his locker was in the band hallway, so it was separate from all the regular kids, if you will. And hey, that's not an insult. I was a band kid myself. But he sold these items for cheaper than what the school sold them for. And business immediately began booming. The band hallway was bumping every day. People were lining up, just hanging out around him. He had a very strict discretion rule where keep us in the DL. If you snitch, I'm gonna have my buddy hunt you down and beat you up. And I'll do it too. And he would do it too. But the thing is, nobody snitched. This kid's moving volume. That first week was legendary. Well, Friday hits and the school opens up their store, but nobody's there. There's no line, there's nobody waiting, nothing. The lady running it's like, what is happening? And it stayed like that for a while. Eventually, an investigation was launched and the principal called this kid into the office. You've been running an unauthorized business. No, it's free market competition. You're undercutting school pricing. With respect, sir, you guys were overcharging and I'm providing students with actual affordable value. But you can't sell food on campus. Then why can't the school? Because we have these safe, good brands. I have the same brands bought from Costco. He gave the kid attention that day, but the kid didn't stop. He kept his business moving. It was this battle between the school and this kid. Eventually, the school got tired of this and they decided to lower the school prices to 10 cents cheaper than the prices this kid was selling at. Well, the kid was happy. I'm retiring. He retires. A freaking hallway legend. He was the guy that made the school lower their prices, and the school even opened up from Wednesday to Friday now. And to that, my friends, I say, you gotta respect the hustle. A substitute teacher walks into class. She's taking attendance, butchering every single name. She gets through everything, but then someone's like, miss, you forgot about Denise. Oh, Denise, yeah, she's here. Right there. And the kid points to an empty desk. The substitute's like, I don't see anybody there. But then another student's like, she's just very quiet, but yeah, she's here, see? Okay. The sub then manually put in Denise's name on the sheet and wrote next to it, here. 10 minutes later, the substitute's handing out papers. Someone says, hey miss, don't forget to give Denise one. And the sub does. Oh, you're right. My bad, here you go, Denise. Miss, she also needs a pencil. Oh, okay, here, Denise. So now, obviously, no one is sitting at that desk, but this teacher is going along with it? Or maybe she's actually believing that someone is there, but she just can't see them? By the end of class, she's talking to this empty desk like it's a real person. Okay, does everyone understand today's lesson? Denise, how about you? Yeah, she gets it, miss. And on the sub sheet to turn into the teacher, the substitute wrote, Denise was quiet today, but she completed all her work. Overall, class was great. The next day, the real teacher comes back and reads the notes. Class, who the heck is Denise? And everyone burst out laughing. I bet they had that sub thinking she was going crazy. They respected Denise though, huh? Why do lifeguards care more about a frickin' sandwich than somebody drowning? This guy went to a public pool, and he got yelled at before he was even in the water. He was standing a few feet away from the pool, eating a sandwich, when the lifeguard blew his whistle. Hey, no food near the pool! Go throw it away and wash your hands! Meanwhile, there's a literal diaper floating in the water, but this lifeguard doesn't care. The guy goes away, tosses the sandwich and washes his hands, comes back to the pool, and does a cannonball. Hey! No cannonballs! Too much splash! What? But here's the wildest part. He calls this guy up. Come here. And he starts lecturing him. You know, cannonballs cause a huge splash and waves that disrupt other swimmers. He's going on and on. But at the same time, there's literally somebody in the pool actively drowning. Hey, no, you listen to me. No, but there's... The lifeguard doesn't even glance over. Somebody's drowning. Shut up. Luckily, somebody else jumped in the water and saved this guy. But the lifeguard did nothing. Later that day, the same guy the lifeguard was yelling at was drinking a water bottle by the pool. And the lifeguard kicked him out because having unsealed water bottles was apparently against the rules. I don't know. That's just crazy. When he was 10, his grandpa asked him, "What do you want for your birthday?" And he says, "A brick." A brick? Why? Because my parents still have this super old TV. If I throw a brick at the TV, we'll have to get a new one. Oh, I'm just kidding. Maybe just some Pokemon cards or something. The grandpa just smiles and nods. A couple months later, this kid's birthday comes around, and there's a beautifully wrapped present on the table. Heavy, perfect corners. The kid opens it. Inside was a single brick. The grandpa's losing it. You're crazy. I can't believe you remembered. And the grandpa leans in and says real quiet to him, "Wait till your mom's in the kitchen and then we'll waste the TV." So the kid's mom goes into the kitchen to grab the cake. The kid takes the brick, smashes it in the TV. TV is destroyed. What happened here? Now we gotta get a new TV. Yes. The grandpa took the blame for throwing the brick at the TV. "I don't know why I did that." Then the kid says, "It's okay, Mom, please don't be mad at Grandpa. I'll help you pick out the new TV." "Okay, fine, you're right." "It's okay, Pops. You'll be okay. Just sit down and relax. I'll clean this up." The mom then leaves to grab the broom. "Nice work, kid. I love you, Grandpa." What a nice story. This English teacher was super chill. Okay, guys, late homework can be turned in at any time up until the last week of school. Dude, that's awesome. You can turn your homework in up until the last week of school, and I'll take no points off. He figured that this would encourage students to just do their homework at their own pace and do it well. Well, one kid takes advantage of this situation. He doesn't turn in homework all year. Weeks pass, then months. The teacher assumes this kid just dropped the ball and that he's not gonna turn it in ever. Until the final week of school. He brings a stack of worksheets and essays to this teacher's desk. And I mean stacks. "Oh, right here you go. Yo, what is this?" "It's late homework. Remember what you said?" "Oh, I also emailed you 6 of the book reports, so those should be in your inbox now." "All right, thanks, Teach." I hate my life. So now this teacher on the last week of school has to grade a crap ton of homework. It's the last thing he wants to do. Oh, I am never doing this ever again. The next year, "All right, guys, welcome to class. Homework is due when it's due. There is no exceptions for late work." Dang, that kid ruined it for everybody. This kid finds a wallet while he's walking into school, right there in the grass. "Yo, wallet." He opens it. $500 in cash. Crisp. It's taunting him. His brain goes into panic mode. I want it. I mean, of course I want it. But it's not right. What do I do? I'll hold on to it for now. I'll decide later. So he puts the money back inside the wallet, he puts the wallet into his backpack, and he spends the next 2 periods sweating like he's hiding a frickin' body. In 3rd period, there's a substitute. "I will be your sub today." He says something. "I'm having a rough day, guys. I lost my wallet before school this morning, so let's just get through class." Kyle's soul leaves his body. He's thinking to himself, "I can just keep it. He'll never know I have it." But he knows it's wrong. And then he thinks, wait, if I turn it in, he might be so happy he'll give me some of the money. Yeah, that's probably the better idea, right? "Hey, I found this outside school today. Pretty sure it's yours." The sub doesn't really do anything. He snatches that wallet out of his hands. "Go take your seat." Okay. And that was that. He didn't get any money, but at least he did the right thing, right? So it was senior prank season, and this one might have been the most beautiful senior prank this school has ever seen. It's the last week of school, and the seniors show up. They've got a ladder, a few backpacks, and they're carrying bags upon bags of something. How much you get? 30 pounds. You're kidding. Nope. 30 pounds of confetti. They sneak into the assembly hall where the school organ is. Now the school was about to have an assembly, and for some reason at every single assembly, the music teacher plays the organ. Now it's a giant old organ with these large pipes, and these pipes stretch up to the ceiling. With the ladder set up, they climb up, and they start pouring confetti straight down each of the organ's pipes. And not just a little confetti. Pounds of it, until pretty much every pipe is stuffed. Well, only one teacher is in on it, and that's the music teacher. He gave them the green light because that old organ was being thrown out anyway. But nobody else knows about this, okay? So, 2 hours later, the whole school is crammed in for this assembly. The Principal gives his speech, and then the organist starts playing. Whoosh! A cloud of confetti blasts into the air like fireworks while this beautiful organ music is playing. With each note, another explosion of confetti goes off. And now it's like a blizzard. Students are cheering, they're trying to catch it. It's beautiful! But the teachers are really confused. Oh my god, what's happening? What's happening? The principal's standing there looking around like the ceiling just collapsed. Meanwhile, the music teacher is just calmly playing the organ while this crazy storm is happening. It's a beautiful sight. By the end, the floor is covered in confetti, the seats are all buried, and the seniors are just looking around like, wow, we did that. And that was it. That organ never played another note, but that prank went down in school history. So this school was doing Spirit Week. You know, Pajama Day, Wacky Wednesday, stuff like that. Well, on Wacky Wednesday, this one kid showed up in a full suit of armor. Boots, gloves, gauntlets, the whole thing, 3 layers, night helmet. It was epic. And the school let him keep it on. Well, after second period, these 3 8th graders, who were the school bullies, decided to make fun of him. Hey, nice outfit, Tin Man. What you got under there?
Yeah. Nice outfit, metal boy.
Well, he's just standing there, not saying a word. The bullies didn't like this, so they start to attack him. What's your problem, dude? Yeah, what's your problem? One punches his shoulder, his hand is shaking, it might be broken. Some kid kicks him in the groin, his foot is hurting. And the third one, big guy, punches his knee and literally breaks his wrist. Ow! You're my foot! My foot! My wrist, guys. Guys, my wrist. It's broken. It's broken. Principal shows up and calls it a school fight. The kid in the armor gets suspended for a week. Even though he did not touch any of them, he literally just stood there in his night armor that the school let him wear. And the bullies, they didn't get in trouble at all. And that, my friends, is messed up. This kid was so quiet, he was made fun of for it. People said he was weird, awkward, boring, but then one day, the talent show happened. His name was Marcus. He never caused trouble, he sat alone at lunch, and he didn't talk much. So when his name got called at the talent show, people were like, wait, Marcus? Then Marcus walked on stage. He didn't have a smile, there was no intro, he just grabbed the mic, looked at the tech guy, and nodded. Then he opened his mouth and he sang opera. Like real opera. Some of it was in Latin, he had vibrato, the entire auditorium was silent. People were gasping, one girl started crying. This is beautiful! At the end of the song, he stopped and put the mic down. A second of silence, and then... Yes! Standing ovation, and he's standing there, taking it all in. Thank you! He was kind of a legend for the rest of the year, but after that year he had transferred schools and nobody saw him again. Until a couple years later, he got a full ride scholarship to Yale, where he's now getting his doctorate. You know, people were calling him weird, but turns out he was in a whole different league. The kid's gonna be a star. It started as a joke. A single piece of gum stuck to the wall behind the gym bleachers. Hidden, tucked away. Well, one kid started adding to it. Then as a joke, he told his friends,
Yo guys, donate your gum. We're building something behind the bleachers.
And every day after lunch, more and more pieces were being added to this gum blob. By October, it was the size of a shoebox. By December, it was this giant glob of pink, gray, orange, and blue colors. And it was giving off this strange but fruity smell. Kids would swing by and salute this gum blob every day after gym. It was this fun thing that everyone was kind of involved in. One day, the janitor warned him,
Hey listen, I see this abomination behind the bleachers. You better clean this up.
No.
After the threat from the janitor, he knew that time was running out, so him and his friends tried to add as much as they possibly could to it. And then, one day, he goes back there, and he sees 3 of the janitors scraping this gum blob away, and he was sad. But then, he got a great idea. He went into the garbage, where that gum was now sitting, and he cut off little pieces, and put them into Ziploc bags. He put 10 pieces of this gum blob into different bags, and he sold them. Limited edition relics. And the crazy part is, the people that were actually involved in this bought them. I guess they wanted a keepsake, a memory. He sold those chewed bag pieces for $4 each. Honestly, hey, You gotta respect the hustle. After winter break, this new girl transferred to this school. Her name was Nicole. Nicole was kind of shy. She wore the same fleece jacket every single day. And at first, during lunch every single day, she would eat in her car by herself. But after a week, one of the girls from this lunch table decided to invite her to sit with them. Hey, I saw you eating in your car during lunch. Why don't you sit with us tomorrow? All right, yeah. Thanks. So the next day comes around and she's sitting at this table. She's not talking much at all. She's just smiling politely and eating her lunch. And she sat at this table for the next few days. And every day during lunch, she would pull out this tiny folded note and she would read it to herself. Then she would smile and put it back in her lunchbox. Well, one of the girls at the table asks this. Hey, so what's with the note thing? You do it every day. And Nicole says this. Oh, well, my nanny writes me a note with my lunch and she's done that every day since I was little. Then another girl goes, isn't that like kind of embarrassing though? Like, that's super babyish. You're not in third grade anymore. Nicole's face changed. Oh, well, I mean, she does it for my little siblings too. It's just something that she's always done. It's just super weird. The next day, she was gone. Back to eating in her car. No one saw her at lunch after that day. The person that originally invited her talked to her friends. She wasn't happy. You guys are horrible for that. She's had a really rough home life and that nanny's like a mom to her and I just can't believe you. And the worst part is, her friends laughed at her for sticking up for Nicole. That's messed up. At this school, band kids were always clowned. Hey, nice clarinet, loser. What the heck? But especially this one kid named Eli. Eli played the French horn, and he took it everywhere he went. On the bus, assemblies, to class. And there was this one dude named Zach, and Zach would always give Eli crap for playing the French horn. Nice instrument, Eli. I bet it sounds like a dying whale. But Eli didn't let it get to him. Then came the spring concert. Big crowd, parents, staff, the gym was decorated, and Zach was there because his mom forced him to go because she was on the school board or something. Well, halfway through, the conductor goes, and now, a featured solo by our French horn player, Eli. And Zach's like, okay, let's see this. Eli stands, French horn in hand, and he cooks. It's not just good, it's cinematic. The entire crowd stopped breathing during the solo because it was that beautiful. Finishes, there was a few seconds of silence, and then the crowd erupts. After the show, Zach walks over to Eli, and all he says is this. Hey man, yeah, you snapped. My bad for everything. Sorry. Eli doesn't say a word, he picks up his French horn, and he walks away. Is that a car on the football field? Yo, that's Miss Shelton. So Miss Shelton had been teaching at this school for forever. AP Chem, strict, she was sharp, she wore heels on lab days and she'd never smiled. But within these last few weeks, she'd been slipping. Her hair's messy, she's forgetting the schedule. She told one kid, I am this close to quitting, I swear to God. Well, finals week hits. She hands out the tests and then she just leaves the room. Someone says, do we follow her? Yo, guys, she's outside. And then everybody goes to the window, and she's standing in the parking lot, staring at her car, motionless. Half the class is watching, half the class is sitting back down, starting the test, when all of a sudden you hear, boom! Tires screeching. The kids run back to the window. Miss Shelton drives across the curve and onto the football field. And she just starts spinning. She's doing donuts in the middle of the football field. Grass and dirt are flying everywhere. Kids are filming. Teachers and gym staff are running outside to the field to see what's going on. They're screaming, my field! What are you doing? And they're just watching her do this. And all of a sudden, she just drives off the football field and parks in front of the front office. She walks in and hands in her name tag and her keys. Here's my keys and, thanks for everything. I'm done. I'm done. And she leaves. Nobody ever saw her again. Apparently, there were tire marks on that football field for weeks after this incident. Wait, forks cost money now? Yeah, and Isaiah's making a fortune off of it. So here's what happened. At this one school, it was a pretty small school. In their lunchroom, they used real forks. Well, these forks started to go missing. Like every day, kids are accidentally tossing them out. leaving them on the ground or straight up taking them home. Finally, the lunch lady snaps. That's it, new rule, forks cost 50 cents. If you want one, you pay, and you better return it. Basically, it's a rental fee for your fork. Well, this kid named Isaiah, he sees an opportunity. The next day, he pulls up to lunch with a backpack full of Costco plastic forks. One fork, 25 cents, two for 40 cents. Tell your friends. It spreads fast. He's got bundles, different colors, custom sizes, some with graphics on them that he calls limited edition. Yo, let me get 2 SpongeBob forks for my ravioli. Say less. The cafeteria staff notices this, and the principal steps in. Are you running an unauthorized utensil ring in my cafeteria? Well, sir, I'm just providing students with a better utensil option. Making pretty good money, too. He gets written up, they confiscate his inventory, and by Friday, the cafeteria stops charging for forks. But that never actually fixed the problem, because kids were still taking these forks home or accidentally throwing them away. Hey, what can you do? What can you do? Oh my gosh, we made our first $2. No, we actually made $1. We gotta pay the security guard. Here. In some neighborhoods, kids run lemonade stands. You know, cute little summer businesses, 50 cents a cup, smiles all around. Not on this block, though. On this block, you needed protection. Every Saturday in this one neighborhood cul-de-sac area, these kids would all set up their lemonade stands. Some were different. Some had like strawberry lemonade, others had regular lemonade, some was selling like fruit punch. You know, it was a nice little thing that the neighborhood kids were doing. Anyway, they'd be all set up and they're good to go. But then here comes this 8th grader. Bike gloves on, backpack over one shoulder. He pulls up to the first stand. Nice stand he got here. Good traffic spot, nice weather today. Would be a shame if someone knocked it over. The little girl selling lemonade just blinks. She's almost gonna cry. But then her friend says, just give her one of our dollars. Hey, it's just a protection fee, okay? Covers you for the whole day. Accidents happen, you know. Have a good one. And he goes to the next one. You guys paying for protection today? You know, kids are scrambling, they're digging in their shoebox of change. Hands over $1, he nods. Pleasure doing business with you. And just like that, he's off to the next lemonade stand. Kid made $12 in fees that Saturday alone. Now, this guy wouldn't just take the money and leave. And although he came off kind of tough and mean, he actually would stay there all day and watch over these lemonade stands. So I guess they actually were paying for protection. Now, it was a pretty nice neighborhood, so nothing ever actually happened. But, hey, you know, you gotta respect the hustle, I guess. What kind of club are you running here? The best kind? One day at this one school, this student figured out that you don't need a teacher sponsor to start a club. All you had to do was fill out a form, write a purpose, and show that there was student interest. This one kid, he invented a club that he called the Indoor Nature Appreciation Society. He said it was for students who loved nature but hated going outdoors. He made posters with stock photos of trees and waterfalls. He took fake meeting photos with his friends. He even listed fake officers. President, himself. Vice President, also himself. He submitted the paperwork and nobody questioned it. A week later, the club got approved. A month later, it got funded. A $500 budget. He spent all of this money on snacks, custom t-shirts, a giant banner with a fake logo, and a director's chair for himself for some reason. After a while, the principal pulled him aside and said, "There's no way this is a real club." He just shrugged and said, "I mean, we do appreciate nature, just from a distance." The best part is he would schedule actual events called observation hours. This is where they would drag 5 or more chairs and put it in front of a big window in the library. And they would all just sit there for 45 minutes, looking out the window. Look, a bird. Oh, nice catch. The principal, who was already suspicious, came by. Okay, what exactly is this? Shh, we're appreciating. Yeah, eventually the club got shut down, but the t-shirts, they wore those almost every day for the rest of the year. Hey, got the goods. You know it. What the? What is that? Oh, shit. So there was this one kid, let's call him Jordan. And Jordan was built for business. He wasn't even in it for the money. He just wanted to run something. So in 7th grade, he started selling snacks out of his backpack. Takis, Gushers, Hot Cheetos, all the good stuff. And his prices, they were cheaper than the vending machine. No line, no tax, no frickin' problems. This guy had regulars, he had punch cards, he even had combo deals. Business was absolutely booming. But then one day a teacher caught him mid-deal and they were shut down. Hey you! I'm shutting you down. School took his snacks, they called his parents, the whole operation gone, done for. So Jordan disappeared for a little while. People thought it was over. But 2 weeks later, he comes back with a new system. Now he's walking around with a backpack full of old books, asking people quietly, "Hey, Need something to read? And inside the books were snacks. He had hollowed out the middle of these books, lined it with plastic, and stuffed them full of candy and chips. These books were titled things like Understanding Algebra or A History of Our State. Books nobody actually wanted. And teachers thought he was just pushing literacy. He would always say, I'm just promoting reading. But then, one day, one slipped. Mid-class, he slides a book across a desk to another kid. Got you. But it falls off and lands with a thud. Nope. Oh. Well, when it hit the ground, a bag of hot Cheetos fell out of this book. The kid tries to grab it and stuff it back inside the book, but the teacher saw everything. What was that? Wait, let me see that book right now. She picks it up, opens it, and it's completely hollowed out. Crumbs lining snack stash exposed. That day, they checked Jordan's locker. He had a full snack library. Categorized, alphabetized, every single book was loaded. And they shut him down again, for real this time. But to this day, people still talk about this kid, because Jordan wasn't just selling snacks. He built a system. And for a while, it worked. Now, this principal had a secret. This person said that back in 8th grade, there was a principal named Mr. Reynolds. And Mr. Reynolds was way too intense. He had this whole no phones in school rule, but he took it to a weird level. If he even saw the outline of your phone in your pocket, he would stop you in the hallway. Give it to me. No, I'm not even using it. Doesn't matter, you know the rules. And the worst part, he'd keep it locked in his office until the end of the day. And if it was like the 3rd or 4th time he had to take your phone away from you, your parents would have to come in and get it. So absolutely just crazy. Well, this one girl, let's call her Ashley. She had had enough. He took her phone one day for checking the time during lunch. Give me that! I'm literally checking the time. You know the rules. So the next day, she told her older brother, who was already graduated but still had friends at the school. And he came up with a plan. Got you, sis. That weekend, Ashley's brother made a fake email address, pretending to be from the school's IT department. And he sent an email to the school board, saying there was suspicious activity coming from the principal's computer. Send. Take that, Mr. Reynolds. Now, he was just trying to make Mr. Reynolds' life a living hell. He didn't think anything of it, really. Just to mess with him real bad. But on Monday, an actual person from the school district showed up at that school. Turns out, Mr. Reynolds had a handful of students' phones backed up on his computer. He found out how to bypass passcodes, and some of them didn't even have passcodes, so he was just uploading stuff to his computer. Text messages, photos, everything. A complete invasion of privacy and super, super creepy. And he was fired on the spot. So Ashley's brother, trying to prank the principal, turned out to be something that actually needed to happen. This dude was messed up. No goodbyes, just walked out the building while the students watched. Get a life, loser! Screw you, Mr. Reynolds! You're a freaking creep! Bye! Ashley got her phone back, and the students got a principal that actually cared about them. One day in middle school, this kid was in math class, completely bored out of his mind. So instead of reviewing the packet he was given, he was doodling a picture in his notebook. He was sketching a cartoon of that teacher. Weird haircut, holding a ruler like it's a sword. I mean, it was kind of brutal, but it was funny. Well, suddenly the teacher walks by and she sees it. Is this supposed to be me? No. She snatches the paper, holds it up like it's evidence. Think this is funny? Office, now. He's like, yep, I'm done for. Detention for sure. He walks down to the principal's office, nervous. He gets in there and he hands the principal the picture that he drew of his teacher, expecting the worst. The principal stares at it, silent for a second, and then... he bursts out laughing. Okay. Alright, first of all, man, this is spot on. Kudos to you. Second of all, I've been telling her to fix her hair for 3 years. Really? Oh, yeah. Hey, pass me that red marker. Okay. He takes the red marker and draws flames behind her in the picture. Boom. Now it's art. I'm gonna keep this, alright? For me. Go to class, man. You're good. Oh. Alright. No detention, no punishment, just a really cool interaction with a super cool principal. That's awesome.
Good night আর bye.
সহজে কোনো কিছু পাওয়ার মজা নাই কিন্তু আমগো দোষ জিসান কি কম
ও
ভাবি লাগে বেটা লজ্জা লাগে না কি ওর কথা বাদ দে পারো তুই যা
জামুই তো
তুই চুপ থাক
আমি তো কিছু চিনি না
চিনো না যে আজকে চিনলা আরো চিনবা আস্তে আস্তে চিনবা আর শুনো
আরে বেন সাহেব নতুন নতুন সম্বন্ধ তো তাই চিনতে পারেন নাই ওই যে আপনার বান্ধবী তুলি আছে না
আমার তাহলে বিশাল বিপদ আমি তাহলে কোচিং এ কেমনে যাব পড়াশোনা কিভাবে করব আমার তো ভয় লাগতেছে
কি খবর
আসসালামু আলাইকুম
ওয়া আলাইকুম আসসালাম কি খবর 3 2 1 আর আজকে রাত 10টা, হ্যাঁ? রক্ত কেন?
ইতিহাস লিখবো, ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস।
ভালো আছি, আপনি ভালো আছেন?
আমি তো ভালো আছি। তো তোমার বোন কোথায়?
আচ্ছা একটা মিনিট, আমি কল দিচ্ছি। এক রাতেই ভালো হয়ে গেল, এটাও আমার বিশ্বাস করতে হবে? দোস্ত আমার না ভয় লাগছে।
এই কি করবি? সেই না চেহারা, না হলো কি চেহারা, কথা তো বেশি চেহারা ওরকম বেশি।
আপনি না শুই না না দেখা সব জায়গা ফেলছেন বাবা।
কি হয়েছে বলতো? আর বলিস না, তোরে যে বুকিং দিছে সে তো এখন আমার পিছনে লাগছে।
দিশান, আমার দরজা লাগিয়ে দিচ্ছে। আমার দরজা লাগিয়ে দিচ্ছে। কই যায়? কই যা?
আমরা তো বিয়েই দিয়ে দিবে বাসা থেকে।
মাম্মা লাভ স্টোরি তো শুরু করে দিলা। ভালো ভালো ভালো। মালটারে কি পড়ানো যায়?
তুই একটা কাম কর, আজকে থেকে আমি তোমার, তুমি আমার, ব্যাস ডিসিশন ফাইনাল, বুকিং দিয়ে রাখলাম। ঠিক আছে? কি খবর তোমাদের? কেমন আছো তোমরা সবাই? ভালো তো না? তুমি জানো তোমার কালকে একটা খবর বলছি।
হ্যালো, আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম।
কি রে? হৃদয় তুই মানা করতেছি।
কিছু না কিছু। ভাবি আপনি জানেন আমি একবার অসুস্থ হয়ে গেছিলাম, ও আমাকে রক্ত দেয়নি, আর আজকে আপনাকে রক্ত দিয়ে চিঠি লিখছে।
কি রে মাম্মা, কই রে তুই? কতক্ষণ ধরে দাঁড়ায় থাকবো? কনসার্ট তো শুরু হয়ে যাবে। তাইলে তো বন্ধু রীত লেগে গেল।
আরে বেটা এত লাফাইস না, যেরকম শুনতেছি পরীর মতো এরকম করলে তো বেটা
যা
পারলে তো ভালো।
দেখা যাক কি করে শালা।
বোবা, হ্যাঁ কথা বলতে পারো না?
বিয়ান সাহেব, আসসালামু আলাইকুম বিয়ান সাহেব।
এক্সকিউজ মি।
তাই তো বলি, কেন ফোন যায় না? না, তোমার নাম্বারটা তাড়াতাড়ি করে বলো।
ঘন্টার পর তো গার্লফ্রেন্ডের লাগে ওয়েট করতে পারো, আর বন্ধুর লাগে 2 মিনিট ওয়েট করতে পারবা না?
ও এখন আমার দোস্ত, তাইলে তো বন্ধু রীত লেগে গেল।
আরে বেটা এত লাফাইস না, যেরকম শুনতেছি পরীর মতো এরকম করলে তো বেটা।
বাদ দে, কালকে 4টা দেখা হবে।
ঠিক আছে মামা,
ঠিক আছে মামা।
ঠিক মতো যা।
হালা পারলাম না রে।
তোর তো হাওয়াটা একটু হয়ে গেল।
তুলি, তুই তো সুন্দর নাম। আচ্ছা শুনো, আমি জিসান, আই লাভ ইউ।
আপনাদের তো চিনলাম না। আমার বড় বোনের যে দেবরগুলো আছেন তো সবাইকেই চিনি, বাট আপনাদেরকে তো চিনি না।
তুমি পড়ো, ঘুমাও তাইলে। গুড নাইট আর বাই।
সহজে কোনো কিছু পাওয়ার মজা নাই, কিন্তু আমগো দোস্ত জিসান কি কম।
ও
ভাবি লাগে বেটা, লজ্জা লাগে না? কি ওর কথা বাদ দে, পারো তুই যা।
জামুই তো।
তুই চুপ থাক।
আমি তো আপনাকে চিনি না।
চিনো না যে আজকে চিনলা, আরো চিনবা, আস্তে আস্তে চিনবা। আর শুনো,